Hello, in this video I'm going to review 3 options you may have to fix your legal status here in the United States if you're going to lose your TPS or your temporary protected status. My name is Rodrigo Canito. I'm an immigration attorney and I do videos on different immigration topics and how to get legal status in the United States. So if that's something that interests you, feel free to subscribe to this channel. So to begin, in June 25th of 2026, the Supreme Court in a 6-3 decision ruled that the federal government can take away TPS from people from Haiti and Syria. All right, and they also mentioned that the federal courts cannot stop them essentially from doing so. So they put a strict limit on the court's ability to stop the federal government from taking away TPS. All right, so what's important to know about this is that people have TPS from many different countries in the United States. So if they are able to do this with Haiti and Syria, what's to say they're not going to try with other countries, right? So in this video, I wanted to give people an option as to what they can do if it's possible they lose their TPS or they have lost their TPS. All right. So the first option is applying for asylum. Okay, if you're not familiar with asylum, the way that works is if one has a fear of returning to their home country because they'll face persecution, okay, they can attempt to apply for this benefit. All right. One of the rules that goes along with applying for asylum is you need to apply within 1 year of coming to the United States. Now, people who have TPS may not have applied for asylum because they have TPS. So they can still try to apply for asylum, but they have to fall under one of the exceptions to that rule, okay? And one exception to that rule that they can try to argue is, well, they already had TPS, so there was no need for them to apply for asylum, okay? So with that said, if you review, the legal requirements for applying for asylum, maybe you've talked to an immigration attorney and you think it's a good idea to apply for this, then it's important to also know that the law says that you need to apply within a reasonable period of time if you want them to consider you falling under one of the exceptions after you have not applied within 1 year of coming to the United States. So basically, you cannot wait, for a very long period of time before applying for asylum. You should do it soon if you think that you, in fact, qualify. All right. So more information about asylum is currently there's a $100 fee to apply for this. Previously, there was no fee. All right. What's really good is you can also apply for a work permit while you're waiting. So if 150 days have passed and there's no decision on your case, you can apply for a work permit. And through that, you can also get a Social Security card. If you have TPS, you probably already have that. But this is just another way to get that work permit and Social Security card. And also, what's interesting with asylum is when you apply, you can also apply for what's called protection under the Convention Against Torture. Okay, so it's basically a different argument, another humanitarian argument. But with protection under the Convention Against Torture, what you're saying is it's more likely than not that if you return to your home country, that you could be tortured directly or indirectly by your government. Okay, so again, everyone's in different situations. So that's why it's good to talk with a lawyer to see if this is something that could work for you. All right, so that's the first option, applying for asylum and also protection under the Convention Against Torture. Same application, by the way. All right, next is potentially applying for a U visa. If you're not familiar with the U visa is for migrants who've been the victims of crimes in the United States and have cooperated in the investigation of that crime. So if you're living in the United States and have been the victim of a crime, you might qualify. What are some of the crimes that might work? It could be domestic violence, it could be felony assault, it could be sexual assault, it could be kidnapping. All right, there's a list of crimes that actually could work with the U visa, okay? Now, it's not sufficient that you cooperate, although that's extremely important. During the entire process, you have to maintain cooperation. But you also have to demonstrate that you suffered physically or mentally due to the crime, okay? Another thing to know about the U visa is if you submit the application in time, the immigration can actually send you a notice allowing you to apply for a work permit. Okay, so you don't have to wait until you actually have a U visa. It's possible that you may get this notice allowing you to apply for a work permit, and then you can, be able to work before actually getting that U status. All right. Other things that they're going to look at is they will evaluate, in deciding your case, they're going to look at your own immigration violations and any possible crimes you may have. All right. So that's the U visa. Now, the last one is applying for a green card through family. All right. So this is one that's more typical. Generally, more people know about this. So if you have a U.S. citizen wife or husband, they may be able to petition for you. Also, if you have children who are U.S. citizens who have already reached the age of 21, they may be able to petition you for a green card. And finally, for people who are under the age of 21 and are not married, their parents may be able to petition for them if they're a U.S. citizen, if their parents are U.S. citizens, okay? So if you fall in one of these categories, you may be able to apply for a green card. And I mentioned these particular family categories because there's no visa wait line. Okay, so for some family categories, like through siblings, you may have to wait many years. Okay, but with this, if you have this type of family member, in your situation with citizenship, then what you're only waiting for is the administrative process, okay? Not a long visa line that could take many years. Other factors that will determine if you're eligible for this is how you enter the country, whether you have any crimes, any serious crimes, and also if you have immigration violations. Okay, so these are some possible options that may work for you. Just gives you something to think about. All right, so thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you got something out of it. And if you'd like to talk to an immigration attorney about your case, my contact information is below. Thanks.